able to work on yourself, to work on your art form. So this is another thing, that you have to be critical, and you have to be, I would say, down to earth, meaning that you must not assume that you as an artist have already accomplished a lot, and that you only have to bring it on paper or on the canvas, but that you realize that you have to learn a lot, that you have to educate yourself a lot, and that art is some sort of a self-discovery, and it takes long, and it never stops. So there are a lot of issues, and there are a lot of skills to be successful, or which might help you to be successful in a society. It's not easy to be successful. I mean, I'm not successful. At least I've seen the last stats. So no, not many people are listening to my podcast. I mean, it is indeed something which might be assumable, or which might be make everyone thoughtful. I mean, there are not many people listening to your podcasts. You don't know of course, whether there are a lot of ghost listeners, or whether this is indeed genuine. However, I take it face value, and then of course you have to ask yourself, where does this lead you? I mean, should you continue? Does this make any sense? These are all questions which may bother anyone. Well, I would be lying if it would bother me. I mean, I always said it in the past. It would be some sort of, indeed, I would appreciate when more people would listen to my podcast. This would ensure income, but in the end, I do this all for me, for my own psyche, for my own well-being. So this is whether people listen to this. Well, I cannot change people's minds. I don't care about it. So in the end, it is always about you, and this is, I think, one of the main reasons, or one of these skills, another skill you need to have as an artist, that you have to work on yourself, and as well as be able to evaluate whether your work is worth it, because like I said, no one will do this for you. People may don't know about you, or they just don't care, or whatever they have, and you need to believe in your self. This is I think this is one of the most difficult tasks, to believe on yourself, especially if you do not see any results, because you're still groping in the dark. You still some sort of try to figure out stuff, try to figure out how things will work out, and where this all will go, and then you need a lot of judgmental power, and I believe in yourself and in your abilities that you will succeed, that you will accomplish these things, and so on. So it is a lot of processes, and I have talked about it in a great deal already. So nothing has changed still, and still here, especially here in this aftermath of this pandemic, of here in Turkey, with rising inflation, and with this world economy in shams. here more than ever you ask yourself, should I do something else? Or more than ever, especially if you struggle to make ends meet, you will sort of doubt yourself. You will ask yourself, shouldn't I be doing something else? Especially, what is life? You will ask yourself, what is survival? Is life only about survival? Should I just get out there and do anything, just survive by any means necessary, and everything else is just secondary? Is this what we should believe in, and so on and so forth? So these are a lot of questions you are ailed with. Everyone is part of them. In everyone's life, there are moments where you have to ask yourself, is the way I'm pursuing, is the path I'm walking, is this all worthwhile? Shouldn't I be doing something else? It is difficult indeed. And then you have to ask yourself, what is life? Is life? Should I just don't care? Should I just live? And then, of course, what is the right experience? Some in the Greek philosophy, at least in some parts, the ancient Greeks, they always assumed that you know whether your life was worthwhile at the end of your life, not at the beginning. So there are a lot of questions, and there are indeed a lot of thoughts in this. So I have to live on. I have to make decisions, and then only at the end of my life I will know whether it was all worth it, whether I have accomplished anything. Well, yes, partially, but even during your life and how you live, even right now, you still see, or should see, some results. You should see some way, some path which will lead somewhere, or you will lose anything. This is, of course, you ask yourself, especially everyone reaches this point in his life. Is my goal even worth pursuing anymore? And then, of course, you have to have a real goal. Not everyone has real goals, because most of us, at least this was in my youth, and the people I was surrounded with, most of them only cared about one thing, and this was survival. I don't care about anything but of survival. And maybe this is all about life. Maybe you could say at the end of your life, well, I survived. There were a lot of crises. There were a lot of people who lost everything. But in the end, I succeeded in surviving. In the end, I could make it through the end. And isn't this a success story as well? Yeah, maybe, but it is some sort of a feeling of void. Life is so short. I know everyone says this. I know there is no better thing to say this and all these stupid phrases. Yeah, life is short. Life is very important. Yeah, but most of the time you waste your life. You waste it on nothing, and it is difficult, and especially in my case. I survived the trauma. I went through hell and all most of my life. So there, if someone comes along and says, yeah, you have to use every opportunity, you have to make the best of your life, and I always say, yeah, well, go fuck yourself. I mean, I survived atrocities. I mean, I went through hell, and these people did not stop ruining my life. So it was not my choice. It was not my life choice which led to this very moment, which led to these points. So this is indeed a big issue in that sense. So it is always easy if you have some sort of lived through a well cushioned life, if you lived through merry childhood, to come along and say, yeah, well, you have to make the best of your life, or you have to be just successful, or whatever, or that everything would depend on your mindset. Well, it is true, everything depends on your mindset. If you are in hell's kitchen, if you have to go through hell, then it depends a lot on your mindset, especially so that you do not crumble, so that you do not go nuts. This is, I think, one of these issues, but it is always easier said than done. And those people who make all these motivational speeches, and I'm one of them too. I occasionally record some motivational speeches. However, these motivational speeches, they are mostly meant for or molded for people who are not hampered by nightmares. They are not hampered by trauma. They are not hampered by what they have experienced. They just need a motivation to get up every day. They just need a motivation to just find ambition. I mean, they are not fighting demons or whatever. So this is, there are a lot of perspectives on your life. I mean, this is all how you see it. I mean, what you want to see it, and it is not easy. I mean, I know it from my own experience. I mean, every day I lived on this earth was a struggle, was a war, was a struggle for survival. I mean, this never leaves you. This is something which you can never abandon and leave behind. So what is the best receipt for success? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't know. As far as me concerned, I mean, if I would be successful, it would be rather depend on chance than on really foresight. And this is not a good thing. If your life is built on chances, if your life is some sort of built on occasions where you might succeed or might not succeed. I mean, this is madness. And you will lose your mind, because building your life on chance means, yeah, you could be successful today, but tomorrow everything could change, and it will change, and this is not something you want to go through with. This is all crappy, if you ask me, and it is indeed crappy, because this is especially, let's say, if you are a writer and you have success with one novel, if you can't figure out what's the cause of the success, what's the origin, then you will never be able to trust your ability. If you do not know your audience, your people who want to read stuff about you, or not about you, but what you write, who want to be entertained by your work, by your artwork, well, you will have to be able to some sort of see through them and see what they want to listen to, or at least can. If you're a good writer, then you create stories which some sort of captivate